Hello and welcome back to today's session. In our previous session, we have established the vascular changes, the hemodynamic shifts, the creation of exudate, and the critical step stasis. Now we transition from the battlefield's logistics to the ground assault itself, the cellular events involving our leukocytes. This phase is responsible for eliminating the pathogen and clearing the debris. So this module covers the detailed step-by-step cascade of leukocyte function. We are focusing on the neutrophils as the dominant first responder in the initial 6 to 24 hours. The macrophages are the essential follow-up crew coming later to clean up and repair initiation. Our ultimate goal is to understand not just what these cells do, but the molecular mechanisms that control their actions from adherence to annihilation. So let's get started. Leukocyte recruitment. The process of getting the leukocyte from the blood to the site of injury is a carefully orchestrated sequence of molecular interactions known as adhesion cascade. So we have two stages over here, margination and rolling, and then firm adhesion. So step one, margination and rolling. We start with margination. Due to the stasis and fluid loss, the heavier leukocytes are physically pushed out of the central laminar flow and displaced towards the endothelial periphery. Once at the periphery, the process of rolling begins. So mechanism over here is this is a low affinity transient binding mediated selectin family. So that plays a major role here. Molecules are cytokine like TNF and IL-1 activate the endothelium to express E-selectin and P-selectin. So these then bind to the carbohydrates ligand, specifically sialyl Lewis 10 on the leukocyte surface. It's a low affinity bond, like tapping the brakes, allowing the cell to slow down but not stop completely. Then the firm adhesion, step 2. It's the arrest. For the cells to stop, we need a high affinity lock. This is firm adhesion. This phase is mediated by integrin family on the leukocyte. Chemokines released from the tissue bind to the rolling leukocyte. This triggers an inside-out signaling cascade that rapidly converts the leukocyte's integrins like LFA1 and VLA4 from low affinity to high affinity state. These activated high affinity integrins bind tightly to their counter receptors on the endothelium, that's ICAM1 and VCAM1. This cell is now firmly arrested on the vessel wall. Remember this key concept for the exam. Selectins mediate rolling, integrins mediate firm adhesion. So we move on to leukocyte recruitment, transmigration and chemotaxis. So transmigration or diaperesis. The soldier is at the wall and firmly stuck. Now it must breach the barrier. This process, also known as diaperesis, involves the leukocyte squeezing through the endothelial cell junctions. So primarily it occurs in the postcapillary venules. The process is guided by adhesion molecules PECAM1 CD31, which is expressed on both the leukocyte and endothelial cells and helps the cell navigate through the intercellular junction. Final barrier, it's upon exiting the endothelium, the leukocyte must temporarily segregate collagenases to locally digest the underlying basement membranes to gain access to the tissue. Chemotaxis is the directional signal. So on the tissue, the leukocyte needs its GPS. Chemotaxis is the locomotor response to a chemical concentration gradient, directing the leukocyte straight to the source of injury. So this is driven by potent chemoattractants. Exogenous and endogenous. So exogenous ones are the bacterial products themselves, specifically N-formyl methionine peptides. Neutrophils are exquisitely sensitive to these, and the endogenous ones are the body's own signals. C5a, a highly potent split product of complement cascade. It's a critical attractant for both neutrophils and macrophages. Leukotriene B4, an eicosanoid derived from arachidonic acid metabolism. IL-8, the primary and most powerful chemokine specific for recruiting neutrophils. Then, now we get into the mission, activation, phagocytosis, and killing. The leukocyte has reached its target. The mission begins in 3 stages. Leukocyte activation. The cell must arm its weapons. This is triggered when pattern recognition receptors like toll-like receptors, TLRs, bind to microbial components. PAMPs. This initiate the signal transduction leading to enzyme production and assembly of the killing machinery. Step 2, phagocytosis or engulfment. So here, this is made dramatically more efficient by opsonization, the molecular tagging of the microbe. The 2 key opsonins are IgG antibodies and the complement component C3b. The phagocyte uses specific receptors to grab the tagged microbe, as in Fc receptors for IgG and CR1 or CR3 for C3b. Pseudopods extend, forming a vesicle called as phagosome. Killing and degradation. The phagosome fuses with the lysosome to create a highly acidic and toxic phagolysosome, the final kill chamber. The respiratory burst. So this is the final high-yield pathway for rapid microbial death. It's oxygen-dependent killing. Upon ingestion, the enzyme NADPH oxidase is assembled and activated, converting O2 into highly reactive superoxide radical. Then superoxide is converted to H2O2. Crucially, the enzyme myeloperoxidase then catalyzes the reaction of H2O2 with Cl to create hypochlorous acid. This is the active antimicrobial agent, essentially a high-grade bleach solution that rapidly sterilizes the contents of our phagolysosome. The oxygen-independent pathway provides backup via preformed lysosomal contents, including lysosome and major base protein. So what are the complications here? Leukocyte-induced tissue injury. The inflammatory response is a necessary evil. While vital for defense, the very mechanisms designed to kill pathogens are non-specific and toxic to the tissue. So these are non-specific and might be toxic to the tissue. This results in collateral damage. Regurgitation during feeding. So the enzymes and ROS leak into the extracellular matrix before the phagolysosome is fully sealed, causing bystander injury. Frustrated phagocytosis. When the leukocyte encounters a large non-phagocytosable surface, as in a massive immune complex or a foreign body, it activates, tries to engulf the target, fails, and discharges its toxic contents directly into the target, leading to damage of underlying healthy tissue. Necrotic cell leakage. So leukocytes that become apoptic or necrotic at the injury site rupture, leading to their potent undigested lysosomal contents into the extracellular space, permeating the tissue destruction. So the collateral damage is not a mistake. It's an inherent trade-off. It's this destructive potential that drives the chronic pathway in diseases like rheumatoid arthritis or pulmonary emphysema, where the toxic products released by persistent neutrophil activity overwhelm the tissue's protective mechanism. Understanding this balance between protection and self-destruction is fundamental to study the pathology and future clinical topics. See you in another topic related to pathology. Until then, keep revising.